What's up, guys? SiberianNinjaX here, bringing you some free-for-all and standoff. And I know we just had a world's first with the world's first skewer-only free-for-all gameplay that just got released. But we've got another one here for you guys, ready for the record books. Today we've got the world's first crossbow-only free-for-all victory. And that, of course, is getting all 30 kills with the crossbow, no more, no less. You can kind of see here, it is a bit of an interesting game. It is a little bit slower paced, of course, because it seems like as soon as I get a kill, I end up dying for most of the game. And as you'll see a couple of times during the game as well, there are a couple of different times where, unfortunately, I run out of crossbow bolts, and I have no choice but to let the enemy shoot me because I got to keep up my streak. I got to keep, keep getting just crossbow kills instead. So it is a little bit interesting, and it's definitely a challenge. I was glad that I was able to get this done and show it to you guys, so hopefully you guys will enjoy the gameplay. But today I thought it would be a great time to actually release some Black Ops 2 progress reports, kind of giving my thoughts and opinions on how the game has played out so far. And I am a huge Call of Duty fan, however I am not a Call of Duty fanboy. There is a big difference between the two. So with that being said, I think I can be pretty objective as far as kind of giving overall info about how this game plays, how the game feels, and what Treyarch has done with the game so far, and what kind of job Treyarch has done so far. Alright, first I think we need to talk about weapons. Overall, I do believe that the weapons in this game are pretty balanced. I think they did a really good job with that. I feel like that the weapons overall within each particular class, and what I mean by that is obviously comparing SMG to SMG, LMG to LMG, and so on and so forth. I think all the guns within each class are relatively balanced. It feels like you can pretty much pick up any gun within a respective class, and it lays out pretty similar and plays pretty similar to any other respective gun in its class. So I believe that Treyarch did a great job with that. Unfortunately, it seems like pretty much everybody is using SMGs for the most part in this game. This game is very SMG dominant, but I actually don't think that's because of the SMGs necessarily being overpowered. I actually think that that plays into a different aspect, and I think that aspect is the maps. I think the maps are the main reason why people are heavily using SMGs and even shotguns in this game, just because the maps are so small, and that's my main issue with the maps. So with the maps, I don't necessarily give Treyarch that good of a job. I don't really give him a thumbs up on the maps for a couple different reasons. One, the maps are excessively cramped. I know that they did this on purpose. I know that they wanted the maps to be smaller to try to make the games a little more faster paced and have a little bit more gun-on-gun type gameplay. But unfortunately, what that results in is a lot of people spawning on top of you. The spawns being absolutely ridiculous. In my opinion, they're worse than what was in MW3. And oftentimes, in a free-for-all especially, it feels like I'm giving birth to another player. It's like I'll shoot somebody, and then somebody just like spawns out of me and shoots me in my back. I mean, to me, that's just unacceptable completely. And hopefully Treyarch can fix this. I don't think that necessarily that there's anything they can do in the maps that they have so far, just because the maps are so small. But hopefully they'll actually create a little bit larger maps, the way they'll kind of balance out the spawns a little bit. However, that doesn't look too promising in the upcoming DLC. Just what I've seen, those maps do seem pretty small as well. But of course, there are going to be future DLC contents, so hopefully they'll make a few larger maps and make the spawns a little more balanced. I mean, I have a personal issue with spawns big time. Whenever, like this map for example, and Hijack are the two that especially come to mind, where at the very, very start of the match, before the match even starts, you're spawned, you're actually looking, as the ticker counts down for the match to begin, you can see somebody else on your screen. To me, that means the spawns are way too close. If you can see somebody on your screen before the match even starts, that is an issue, and that's something that they've got to find a way to address by creating bigger maps. But, like I said, kind of touching back on the weapon balance issue, that's the reason why you see more weapons used than others, is because of the fact that the maps are so small, and I think people just feel like they don't have an opportunity to try to use LMGs as much or use assault rifles as much, just because there's no room to work with them. I mean, you're going to get completely dominated by SMGs and shotguns most of the time if you try to use a different weapon class. So that's just what it is, I guess, from that standpoint. Next, let's talk about score streaks. While most of the score streaks are recycled in this game for the most part, like the VTOL warship obviously is just another chopper gunner. You got Dogs, which was in the last Black Ops and in World at War. Stealth chopper is basically an attack chopper. Lightning strike is basically an airstrike. I mean, for the most part, all the score streaks are recycled yet again. And I'm kind of torn about whether or not the score streaks are actually overpowered or underpowered. I think for the most part they're probably just right, because really if you have two teammates at least who are focused on taking down a score streak, they can take them down relatively quickly. And with that being said, you know, it seems like the score streaks go down a lot faster in this game, and unfortunately you can earn a score streak and have it taken down in the first 10 seconds. So therefore I don't necessarily think that the score streaks are overpowered in any sense, but you know, it is what it is. Next, let's talk about innovation. I think that they did a great job in this game with awarding points to those who actually capture the objective and play the objective more. That allows you to get your score streaks a little bit faster, so excellent job there for Treyarch. I think that's definitely a step in the right direction to get people to play the objective more. I haven't necessarily seen a huge spike in people playing the objective more, but I think it's going to take hopefully a couple more games of this type of mindset and this type of setup to actually get people to play the objective more. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully in future Call of Duties it'll actually maintain that same path, and people will actually start to eventually play more of a focus on the objective, and hopefully won't have so many issues with people kind of sitting in the back of the map like they have in prior games, and you know, just trying to build up their kill streaks that way. And the final thing that I want to talk about here today is the connections. Connections are a huge part of the game. Ultimately, they can make or break a game, and connections have made me incredibly more frustrated in this game than I have ever been in any other Call of Duty in the history of Call of Duty games. I've been playing Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4, and I'm telling you, these connections are horrible. The lag compensation is probably the worst we've seen. Modern Warfare 3 was terrible, but this game is just as bad, if not worse, with the connections. Unfortunately, I don't think that they're going to admit that it's a problem, but hopefully they know it's a problem. I think they do. They've got to at this point. There's no way that they couldn't recognize that it's a problem. So hopefully in future Call of Duties, we can only hope as Call of Duty gamers that they'll fix this. They'll take out lag compensation and actually make it to where, you know, there's a true host in the game, at least like there was in prior games. They tried to say that it's not so much as an issue now, but unfortunately it is. I mean, you guys see it, everybody sees it. They've got to fix the connections, because at my point, the only Call of Duty killers at this point that there's going to be is Call of Duty itself. If they don't fix the connections, ultimately it's going to break this series, and somebody will step up and end up doing a better job. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay here. Guys, let me know what you think about the Call of Duty progress report down below. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you with the next video. Peace, guys.